Yeah, you want to elaborate on that and I'll follow up.
Sure. So we have had discussions. We are at about 6.8% higher than we want to be right now as a state. There are definitely different counties that are higher than that and have taken different actions, which is a local level decision, and I think oftentimes a good decision. I think that some of the decisions that I've heard kicked around are, to kind of have set number of tables and table service, and those tables are socially distanced, and otherwise, maybe a lot of the bar activity is outside on the street in the open where we know that there's decreased risk for infection and transmission there. So certainly those are discussions that are occurring every day with counties depending on their particular circumstance.
Yeah, and I will say, Eric, in talking to Dr. Burks last week, she did mention other state scenarios around the country, including masks, and no matter how inartfully maybe I articulated the importance of local education and enforcement in terms of bending down that curve, that's exactly what our intent is here, and that's why you see us moving toward sharing as much information as we can on a county-by-county basis so that that can be stressed on the ground with our help to bend down that curve. And once we do that all over the whole state, but like I said, this virus will take what you give it or take what we give it. And you can't let your guard down. And the examples that you listed, whether it's a bar, for every 10 that are doing the right thing, if one doesn't enforce these guidelines at the local level, at the individual business or social gathering, it can ruin it for a much greater area. And so that's why we're working with county by county with our local partners to make sure that we bend it down. We think we can before we have to go there, but that's really the where the enforcement comes in, is if we have to determine a county or a region of the state has to go back to a different stage. We're not there yet. And I think we can get there, and I shared this with Dr. Burks, and you heard from the Assistant Secretary of Health yesterday, I guess, Admiral Brett Giroir, who said that we were doing a number of things right, including testing, and you talked about tracing. All these are important. They're all part of the successful recipe to bend down that curve. But our actions will also have an effect on that. So physical distancing, masking up, good hygiene. We think we can get there with good enforcement on the ground with the guidelines that are there right now. We'll see where we are tomorrow and next week and next month.